Hello there, and this is going to be another installment, trying wine, sort of a non-podcast podcast, I guess. Today we're going to be talking about, well, just me this time. We're talking about MontPellier, Cabernet Sauvignon, and MontPellier Pinot Noir, both 2009 vintage, both out of California. One thing, I've got both bottles in front of me right now, and they look almost the same. The only thing that gives it away is that the Pinot Noir is in a yellow bottle, and the Cab is in the green bottle. And then obviously the names on the labels, but other than that, the labels are identical. Out the bat, both of these cost $7. I think it's like $6.95 over at Vino's. Right now, I don't think they have any more. I'm not sure if they're getting any more, but these were considered closeout wines. I have to say, I mean, especially for the money, both of them did impress me. I went and got the Pinot Noir, and I didn't get them at the same time. I got the Pinot Noir. It was our first Pinot. And I was a little worried about that, getting a $7 wine of a varietal that I had never had before. I was worried about, would this skew my impressions of that varietal? But talking to Matt over at Vino Bellissimo, he recommended this. He said that he was really surprised that he had a Pinot from California that he liked, and at this price point. So I decided to take his word for it. So judging from the notes I took at the time we had this, the color was a dark red, or a reddish. Martha, or Wifey, as you may know her from reading, described it as like Welch's Cherry Blast. It's kind of a clear red. Which, by the way, Welch's Cherry Blast is actually very good if you ever tried it, but I'll not dwell on that too much. But if you see it, pick some up. When we started smelling it, the bouquet on the Pinot Noir, I wrote down that I was kind of getting sort of a jam smell or a red, wet sand, and I kind of settled on beets as kind of the smell for that. And she had dust on a wooden shelf with beets on it. So we both kind of picked up on the beets on that, and I thought it was really kind of impressive. I can't remember for sure. I think one of us may have suggested beets to the other, and that may be what did it, but we were both kind of picking up on that. As far as the taste goes, this is one that I thought was interesting. I was really kind of picking up pomegranate with blueberry on this, because I'd had some pomegranate juice that had blueberry in it before, and this kind of reminded me of that, kind of gave me that impression at any rate. Martha wrote down grapefruit juice with spinach and beets, so she's back to the beets again. But the one thing I found really remarkable about the Pinot Noir was that usually with red wines I find that the tannins, or that kind of that pungent flavor, or maybe it's acidic, but most of the tannins sit on top of the tongue. And what was odd about this is that in this case the tannins were attacking only the underside of the tongue. I was really surprised about that. In general, we both liked it. Unfortunately, when we went back to get some more, maybe about a week or two later, they were all out. And I haven't seen any back since. I'm hoping they'll get more, but because it's closed out, there's really no guarantee on that. But I'm certainly going to keep an eye out for MontPellier in the future, and we'll definitely consider buying their wines in the future. Another comment I had on the Pinot Noir, I wrote down that it was unstable. It's flavorful in one taste and then tannic the next. But it's not too abrasive, and that was the other thing, is that, the attack of the tannins on this, if I remember right, if I were going to put it on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as the tannic attack, I'd give it maybe a 3.5, 4 maybe, It wasn't too bad. It was definitely there. So that was my impression on the Pinot Noir. As far as the Cab went, I told you we went back to see if I could pick up some more Pinot, because I was going to be taking a little trip, wanted to take something with me. Not to drink on the way, but to drink when I got there. And I wanted to get some more Pinot, but they were out. So I picked up this Cab. Again, same company, same price, about $7. Again, it was on the closeout rack, so I don't know if I'll be getting any more or not. And I remember at first, when I tried it, that it seemed a little strong, and I actually recorded my first impressions on that too, which is why I decided to go to the recording here. So here it is. I like they got the little tab around the neck of the bottle, which I like. It makes it a lot easier to get to the cork. So I'll pop that off. Anything special in the back here? Not really. Okay. It's like, oh, wine's great. It's been around forever. You should try it. That's basically what it says. Hopefully I'll be able to get this cork back in so I can take it home. Once at home, I don't tend to drink a whole bottle at a time. Unless the thing really, truly impresses me, which I don't think it will. Not like, what was it, heavyweight. But even then, I don't think I would have a whole bottle of that either. Ooh, smells good. I might like this one. Let's try that. Color on this. It's called as ruby, not dark ruby, just ruby. I mean, it is a little on the dark side, but not a lot. Swirl it up. Let's give this a sniffy sniff. There's something there. Probably want to say dark rubber. Things like dark gum. Gum. Yeah. Like maybe a dark cherry gum. I might actually be okay with that. Like if there was a dark cherry gum, I think this would be about what it would smell like. I think there's something a little more there though. Almost like Airhead. Maybe like a dark cherry Airhead. You know, it's like the taffy. I think that's actually a little closer. Swirl it up a little more. See, I wonder if I use dark cherries too often as a descriptor. It's just definitely a dark fruit of some kind though. Still want to say cherries though. Well, let's give it a whirl. A little tannic, but not over the top. That's just as Mark said. Reminds me, and I think it's the alcohol content more than anything, reminds me of some sort of like an aftershave maybe that a barber would use. It's not bad. It's better than Woodbridge. I don't know how this would go with food. I don't have any food available to try and enjoy this with. I think this is a good basic cab. I feel like if, yeah, and that's the thing, I don't know what Woodbridge is doing to theirs. I don't know what Gallo is doing to theirs. But this seems like this is about what cab, I mean, mind you, the heavyweight is a blend, and I love that. But just for being cab, I think this would be a good, just a good example of what a cab is on a basic level, and then try other cabs to see what other methods they use it. Just seems like, and I don't know, I mean, maybe they've somehow made this better. What I think what cab should taste like, this is really just the basic what it should be, you know, as far as cabs go. I'm starting to zero in on what a cab should taste like, and I think this is it without being bad. Okay, we're back now. I remember that the next day after I recorded that, the next morning I went ahead and tried it again. I had corked it before I went to sleep that night, tried it the next day, probably around noon or so, and the thing that I remember that stood out was it felt really unstructured. I watched some of Gary Vaynerchuk's videos and stuff, and he'll talk about whether a wine is well structured or not, and it seemed like, I don't know, I never had a structured versus unstructured wine, sort of a contrast there. I never really had it, but this one, it seemed like it was really unstable. It almost seemed like if you were trying to drink, like if you shook up like water and oil and were trying to drink it, you would be able to tell that they weren't mixing. And so that next day I was trying it, and it was just like, there's like an argument going on in here, and that really surprised me as far as that goes. It wasn't like bad, it was just, it did put me off, but I mean it didn't taste awful. It was just kind of a turn off, you know. So I was really like, I was kind of disappointed about that. I ended up bringing about, you know, most of the bottle back home with me and threw it in the fridge when I got back. I think it was a couple days later, pulled it back out, decided to finish it off. I hate to waste money even if it is cheap. Again, it wasn't bad, it wasn't offensive, it's just that it was kind of lackluster in its structure, I guess. So got some more, tried it, and you know, it was actually better the third time around. Between the first time and second time, after I'd had it open, got some more air to it, I guess, and threw it in the fridge, and then warmed it up a little bit. And I don't know if it was just the letting it get cold and then warm back up. I don't know if that's what fixed it or what. But the next time, it's like, it was fine. It wasn't overpowering. It tasted okay. It wasn't as contrasting as it was the next morning when I had it. Would I buy it again? Yeah, I guess I would buy it again if I couldn't really find what I was looking for. I think I would. You know, for the price, yeah, probably. I probably would. If this thing were a $15 bottle, no, I would not do it. Not for 15 bucks. But for $7, if I couldn't find what I was looking for and nothing else struck me, yeah, I'd pick it up. For the Pinot, I'd go back for that again. If it were a $15 bottle, yeah, I might, unless I can find another $15 bottle that impresses me more. So with that, I think I'll go ahead and sign off. Thanks for listening.